An important thing to consider is that an autoethnographer is never really at home, is never really at ease, or I think never at home would be the most apt phrase to use, because he is a boundary crosser, taking on the role of dual identities or double consciousness. There is a cultural displacement of sorts, a situation of exile characteristic theme that is constantly expressed within an ethnographic research. But the dual identity, insider-outsider constructs are sometimes way too simplistic for an adequate understanding, given the phenomenon of displacement and rapid sociocultural change. So it's not as clear-cut anymore, the inside-outsider status, but what is clear is that the ethnographer is never at home because they're constantly changing boundaries. One time they're a researcher, one time they're part of the culture, and they have to be very cognizant of the fact that they're crossing boundaries. Just to summarize, the emphasis is on the ethnography of the culture rather than the life story of the ethnographer. Why is ethnography a tool for research when it comes to education? How will it expand the field of education? How will it serve it? Well, education happens from birth to death. It's a constant process. Most of the time when we think education, we think of calculated interventions such as schooling. But education goes far beyond it because it includes initiation, rites of passage, apprenticeships, and other forms of cultural learning. So it is not this boxed-in intervention, because education is lifelong, as we know, because they're adult learners. I mean, there's informal education versus formal education. But most of the time, educational ethnographers focus on the calculated interventions, the formal process of schooling, most of the time. Overt cultural forms usually speak for themselves. They're pretty obvious, and they can be tabulated by empirical research. The power of ethnography comes in because it helps us understand the implicit, tacit, and hidden cultures that are usually tethered into the educational fabric, that we don't even realize that they're there because we're so used to it, we're conditioned to it. And ethnography can help us extract them, observe them, and be aware of them. So educational ethnography, it attempts to identify, describe, and evaluate the social flow of values. It sheds light on issues that cannot be captured otherwise. The role of comparative analysis. Now, why am I doing a comparative analysis of two countries? How does comparative analysis play a part in today's economy and globalization? The way I see it, ethnographic research is unparalleled in the production of depth and knowledge. But without comparative analysis, the research that we produce tends to remain isolated, and it defeats the essential purpose, which is to gain an understanding of human condition. And given today's globalization of education, it becomes all the more important to know where we stand relative to the world. To give you a few examples, a study called PISA, which is the Program for International Student Assessment, which most countries take, the USA ranked 24th out of 29 countries. And then another international study given in 1995 called the TIMSS, Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study, the USA ranked 3rd from the last, followed by Cuba and Africa, and it pulled out from the upcoming test at the last minute. Now, why is this important? Given the globalization where the whole economic structure and the policy and everything is just merging, we have to know where we rank in terms of the global competition. It's not nationwide anymore. It's global. It's a transnational competition. So in conclusion, I just want to say that ethnography and autoethnography They play an important, vital role in understanding nuances, cultural systems, and or power relations. And since educational systems are but a reflection of the greater society that they embedded in, ethnographic research is crucial to educational research. And I just want to say that we have reached the conclusion of the presentation. Thank you for being a part of this atypical presentation and having me on camera and being patient with me. If you have any questions, I'd love to get in touch with you. I have my email up there. It's lavchin@yahoo.com. So please drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts, and I promise to get back. And that's it. So thank you so much. Bye.